Thank you very much for this really, really kind introduction. Hello, everybody. I come from the city of Ljubljana, the European Green Capital 2016. After a year, we've been declared European Green Capital last year in Copenhagen, and after a year, I still feel really, really proud when I can stand on stage and say that we are European Green Capital. We are Green Capital number 7 after Stockholm, Hamburg, Victoria-Gasteiz, Nantes, Copenhagen, Bristol, of course, this year, and our turn to present ourselves will be in 2016, and we are really proud of that. So we are the magical number 7, but nevertheless, we are the first and for now the only European green capital in the whole central and southeastern part of Europe. And it's really good, to see the only golden green star shining in our part of Europe. So we've been told by the jury that we have a really great responsibility in sharing the idea of European green capital, of sustainable development with other cities in our neighborhood. So we are doing that really intensely, and I think I've never traveled as much as I'm doing right now. I would like to share 2 things with you in the next 20 minutes or 25, we'll see. The first thing is why, we decided to apply, why is this so important? And the second, how did we win this award of what I think are the most important advantages that Ljubljana has. First of all, we all know, I spend a lot of time with my colleagues from other cities, and we share things, we share experiences, we learn from each other. But if I count all the things together, we also compete all the time. We compete for our citizens, we compete for new investments, we compete for the tourists, for important sport and culture events, for students, for new talents, for new innovation, for a lot of things. And when we came to the city with the mayor and our team in the end of 2006, beginning 2007, Ljubljana was internationally completely invisible. It was even Slovenia, that's a country where Ljubljana is, from where Ljubljana is, was really invisible. I traveled a lot and I've heard, Slovenia, Slovakia, Slavonia. It was really, let's do something. So we decided if we want to compete even with the biggest players, we have to do something. And then we compared our budgets and we said, okay, our annual budget, it's less than 400 million. We compared it to Vienna. Vienna is one of our really role model cities that we look up to, like 12.7 billion. Okay, what can we do? We cannot put all of our money into advertisements. We have to do something else. So we decided, we did some benchmarking, and we found out that we have some really important comparative advantages, and we started to compete. We started to apply for different awards, and the first big breakthrough was in 2012 when we won the European Prize for Urban Public Space. That was in Barcelona. There were 347 different projects out of 36 countries, and we won for the project of refurbishment of the city center, riverbanks, and building new bridges. And after that, we started winning in really different fields, in fields of accessibility, of sustainable mobility, and then all of that led to this final biggest award so far, and that's European Green Capital. What I wanted to tell you, another thing is how, did we win, or what are these advantages, what I believe that are disadvantages that we have. Just to get a picture, Ljubljana has a really unique geostrategic position, I believe, in the heart of the Europe. That's chicken-shaped country is Slovenia, and right in the middle you can see Ljubljana. It's a small European capital with only 283,000 citizens on a surface, as you can see, 275 square kilometers. And we are known as being a really green capital city, and it's not only something that we say, but it's really statistics. It's pure statistics, because almost 3/4 of all the surfaces are green areas. We have around 560 square meters per capita of green areas. We are a clean city, we are a safe city. Slovenia is officially, according to statistics, the 4th safest country in the world at the moment. And we are quite a friendly city. So in our mission, we have really simple mission that we follow, and that is to provide the best service for our citizens and to improve the quality of life and keep on improving it, because we all know it's a never-ending story. You cannot do something so well that it couldn't be improved. And two other things that we believe of are, we try to be friendly to our most vulnerable groups. That means to children, to people with disabilities, to elderly people, because if we are friendly to them, then we are friendly to all of the citizens and visitors. And another thing is that we try to live intercultural dialogue in Ljubljana, no matter, in terms of nationalities, in terms of religion, in terms of our LGBT society. So we are known as being open and friendly. That's one of the first and I think most important changes that we have done. We started in 2007, that's our city center. And the biggest issue, the biggest challenge when we came was the traffic. Because the city with only 285,000 or 83,000 citizens, we had almost 130,000 vehicles coming to the city every day. So it was really overcrowded, everything overparked. And the first thing that we did, that our mayor did, that he decided, and it was a really difficult decision, we closed the city center for traffic completely. Not only for the private vehicles, but also for public transport. And we just created this pedestrian zone that's really for pedestrians, for cyclists, and up to today, we have created more than 10 hectares of this so-called ecological zone. We have done additional 5 hectares of a zone with limited access. And that means that we only open it in the morning from 6:30 to 9:30 for delivery, and after that we close it. In this way, we have increased our pedestrian areas for more than 650%. Of course, when you do that, it was not really nice. Those days were not really nice, because people are all for this kind of changes. But please, we have to close it, but please not for me. My favorite hairdresser is there, or I really have to put my car in front of my bedroom. So not for me. But we decided, and we gave some alternative to the people with new electric vehicles free of charge that they can use, with new round-trip electric bus that takes them around, with new bridges, because we tried to shorten the distances for them, with new bike-sharing system, with a lot of things so people can really walk and feel safe then. I will try to show you some pictures. I also have pictures before and after, just a short... some really small things maybe, but it were really important for Ljubljana. That's one of the streets that was before crowded. This one is really good, because before you were not allowed to walk on this street. There were too many cars, and today it's really open area, closed for traffic, open for people. That's another example. It's one of our main squares. It's our Congress Square that before was overcrowded with cars. Today, it's overcrowded with people. In Ljubljana, we have more than 1,500 cultural events every year, and around 70% of them are free of charge, and we try to put as many as possible on the outside. So now we are, trying to bring the culture, even the highest culture, from ballet to classical music, closer to the people, so everyone can be part of it. That's one of the examples. That's opening of our summer festival. So now everything is happening on this square, and before it was really overparked. We got another award for that. It's International Gubbio Award for preserving and presenting our culture heritage, because we didn't just refurbish it, but we really took care also for our culture heritage. At the same time, we have a very rich culture heritage. We've celebrated 2,000 years of Emona last year. Emona was a settlement where today Ljubljana is. There was Emona in the times of Roman Imperium. And we even founded in our Ljubljana marshes the oldest wooden wheel in the world. It's 5,200 years old, approximately. That's what my colleagues told me. So apparently we have a lot of things to show. There are some other cases of what have we done in this city center, and we are adding more and more streets every year. So this area is really spreading. We refurbished all the riverbanks. Yesterday we opened a new place that's called Spitza. And we added some additional culture events, social events there, so it's really vivid with a lot of people. So that was one thing that was our biggest change, and that was transforming the mobility. Of course, we did some other things with smart city card that is used for public transport, for bicycles, for even, maybe that's interesting, for our libraries. So you can borrow your book in one library and then you can return it somewhere else. It's really good also for the footprint, you know, shortening the distances and maybe taking care also for the environment in this way. Maybe it's interesting to tell you about our project of bike sharing system, Bicikl. We started with this in 2011, and it really exceeded our expectations, because now, up to this year, there were around 3 million journeys in our small city. So people are really using these bikes. Every bike is used in average around 8 times per day. And the first hour is free of charge, and of course there are 98 point something percentage of the journeys within this 1 hour. So it's a really huge success, and now we are trying to spread it all around the city, because we have this advantage. Ljubljana is completely flat city, and you can really enjoy also with your bicycle. I wanted to show you this case because this is not just one street, but this Slovenska street was the main traffic artery of the city. And we decided to change the traffic regime also here. It was, again, a huge discussion. You cannot do that. We need this street. You know, we have to have this possibility to come to the city center, and we are actually completing this now. These are pictures taken a few weeks ago. So now it's different, it's open for people. The problem that still remains is that we will have to let some public transport, a bus that will go through this street. But now we have another problem. People saw the advantage of having this open public space. Now they don't want to have this bus. So now there is a problem, because they need this bus to come to the city center, but when they are there, the bus should disappear. So now we are discussing it and trying maybe to just put just one line and have just a round route of an electric bus driving around. So it's a really different story now on this street. Another thing that I believe was important to gain our European Green Capital Award was that we really intensely try to revitalize brownfields into new public space of high quality. Green areas, park, recreational areas. This example is from, we just moved to the illegal garden allotments. There were around 13 hectares of them, and now we are having a really nice green area. A lot of people come here, they have picnics. We also, You cannot see it here, but we also built a playground for children. So it's really opening. And what is happening that people that before were having their birthdays or their celebrations at their homes, really privately, are now coming, to these public spaces, and they're spending times together outside. So I think it's important for all of us. Another example, before that was a really, devastated area with uncontrolled parking. Today we are having one of our children playgrounds. A lot of people always, and new quality of living for this part of the city. That's along one of our rivers, Sava. It was illegal waste dump before, and we decided to do, it's a new animal farm. You can horse ride, you can make picnics, you can spend time in the nature, and we are talking about 7 kilometers along the river Sava is this new area. And another thing that was here before, when you got out of the city center, there were a lot, you could see a lot of that. There were no connections between the city center and between the natural hinterland. It was like this. So we decided to create these green corridors. So you can now go from the city center on this wooden chips footpath. You can enjoy on the outside air galleries, and you can really reach the nature from the city center on the green areas. Another thing that we have, and it's a very important advantage, I think that there are some cities in Europe that also have this advantage, but all around the globe is not, an advantage that all of the city had, and that's a really potable water of high quality that's accessible to everyone. We have public drinking fountains all around the city. We have applications like this one so that you can find this public drinking fountain that's nearest to you. We are doing a lot of communication in this field, just to remind people, first of all, about the history of the water in Ljubljana, about the importance of having this privilege, and also about it's not important that our service show that we won't have the water shortages in the near future or in some centuries, but nevertheless, we really should respect water, and we are doing a lot of activities in this field. And another thing that is also interesting, these are our underground waste collectors. We've been known as a city with highly sustainable waste management. We are the European capital with the highest share of waste separating at households. Now we are at 63%, and being part of the zero waste program, we aim to get to 78% by 2025. And that's just one small case to show you what did we do. And in this way, we also improved the appearance of the city, because we replaced a lot of containers with these underground collectors, and people can use them with this special card. So it's another thing, and it's been really popular. A lot of cities are coming to Ljubljana to see that, to learn, and then to take this best practice to other cities. We've seen it now. It's been implemented also in some other cities around Europe. So here we are. We won last year. I just had a time to show you just some of the small things that I believe that contributed to this thing. But there were some important, I think, things that the jury told us. First of all, they told us that we have won because we have made the biggest change in right direction in terms of sustainability in shortest period of time. Because we've done that from 2007 and 2008 and up to 2012 when we applied. So it was really 5-6 years, and it was a great change. And another thing that was said was that we are really balancing really well two things. First of all, that we are really preserving this rich green identity that we have, and on the other side, that we are really quickly transforming the things that are not green, that are not sustainable, making them green and making them help improve quality of living in Ljubljana. So what next? or what has happened since, that I believe this award has changed a way of thinking in Ljubljana. And I think it was, it's not just something to say about, but you know, we have a lot of challenges in Ljubljana, because you've seen some examples, but our city is not perfect. We have still a long way to go. And now, being a European green capital, it's easier to implement difficult decisions. It's unpopular activities, unpopular maybe changes, because people start to feel, yeah, we are European green capital, we have to stick together, stick to that, and just show, you know, the other cities, the other people, that we can contribute to this green and healthy Ljubljana. So that's one of the things. Another thing, that it really boosted our international visibility. So it's being a European green capital, I can only suggest you to do that. The same, if you are representing here the European cities, please do that, because you won't regret it. We won't. Because there were some other things that followed. For example, being a European green capital has helped us to gain this award that from WTTC this April. So we got the award Tourism for Tomorrow. And since April this year, we are the destination for tomorrow, because the jury decided that we have a green soul and we have a really high sustainable awareness in the city. So this award is helping us gaining new and new awards. And in terms of tourism, when we came in 2007, we had around 400,000 overnight stands. Last year there were 1 million, and this year we are now having 25% raise also in the field of tourism. So we are heading towards 2 million in hopefully 3 years. It's too much. Yeah, thank you for saying that. That's another thing that we are now discussing because we are a small city. And now more and more tourists are coming, and they are coming because our city is green and it's clean and it's safe. And with a lot of tourism, with mass tourism, we've heard that from different people, that all of this thing can deteriorate. And we want to keep our city on this high level of quality of living for our citizens, at the same time, you know, be touristically attractive. So we are now trying to find the balance. But yes, thank you for that. We are thinking also about that. But what will happen? We will continue with our vision, with our sustainable vision 2025. We will try to balance, to be sustainable, but at the same time to be livable, because these two things can also have, like I showed you before in this Slovenska street, you know, you can just empty the city and make it without cars, but then probably if you don't give an alternative for the people, it will also be without people. So we've been lucky, and we are really having now, it's crowded, not with cars, but with people, and we want to keep it in the future, so we will try to balance it. Another thing that we have learned, we are a small city, we are a small capital, but we dared, you know, really to dream and to follow our dreams, and I think it was a great victory for us. So I will just finish by saying that you are really warmly welcome to Ljubljana. Come to Ljubljana, let us surprise you and let us exceed your expectation. Thank you very much.